Hello, everyone. Today I wanted to talk a little bit about the suffering of not getting what we want. I am sure this is an experience that we all have daily. Um, for example, getting up from the table to try and get another piece of that wonderful dessert that someone made, and you walk all the way to the counter and you discover that someone has walked away with the last little bit, so yeah, you didn't get what you wanted. Or you walk to the tea counter to get yourself a nice warm cup of tea on a cold morning and discover that there is no water. Somebody forgot to refill the kettle and you're left with no hot water. Or you wait patiently for your study partner to show up to do some round of memorization and the person never shows up. So yeah, these things happen to us on a daily basis. It happened to me recently, and the difference this time from all the other many times that it's happened is that this time I was paying attention. This time I actually was able to observe what was going on in my mind, so I want to share that with you. Because I thought it was rather funny afterwards. Like, that's funny. And I learned a lot from it. So I went something like this. Wow, I cannot believe that person did that. How inconsiderate. How selfish. I just cannot believe. Is this person a practitioner? Why didn't they think about me? So that person is the culprit of my feeling this bad. That person's selfishness, lack of awareness, lack of consideration for others resulted in my being so angry right now because I did not get what I wanted. And this record was playing in my mind over and over and over. And every time this thought came into my mind, my anger spiked up. And then I stopped. And I said, wait a minute. I made a commitment that I would not get angry, I would not move with anger, I would not react with anger. So where is that right now? Why am I letting this thing escalate in my mind out of control? So then I said, okay, how do I de-escalate from this anger, this fire that's burning inside? So I went back to the bare observation. What actually did happen? Well, that person said that. Really? That person said that, and everything else that I was thinking was just an addition to what that person said. That person was inconsiderate, selfish, not paying attention, didn't think about anybody else by themselves. So all that was just in addition to what the person said. So it's like, how silly is that? Right? I am getting angry, experiencing all this unease, and spending all this energy that I could be using elsewhere because that person said something. How does that make any sense? But still, the fire of anger kept burning. That was not in itself enough. The observation itself was not enough to undo the anger. So then I said, okay, let's use some reasoning. Let's try and figure out why that person said what they said. Let me put myself in their shoes and see the situation from their point of view. So I did. And guess what I discovered? This was a big eye-opener. I was being inconsiderate. I was being selfish. I was thinking only about myself. When I did that, I did not think about anyone else. I acted rashly. And it's like, wow. And then that clarity was immediately preceded by, but still, they should have been kind, and they should have been nice, and they should have been compassionate. So again, pointing outside. So I said, okay, I continued that reasoning for a while, putting myself in the person's shoes and trying to see it from their point of view, and it helped, but it did not take away all the angry feelings. Okay, so what else do I need to do after that? Then I said, let me do some loving kindness compassion towards this person, some loving kindness meditation about this person. And that did help a lot. But as I was giving this person loving kindness, there was this little voice in the back of my mind, but what about me? What about my needs? What about what I want? Why do I have to be kind to this person when this person wasn't kind to me? Yeah. And so then I said, oh, that's the self-centered mind. Bingo! I see you. You're there. And that was another learning piece. So if I pay enough attention, I can hear that little voice in my mind. And once I identify that the what about me was there, then I could say, oh, okay, this is my old friend, self-centered mind. The anger is coming from that self-centered thought. And so then I continued to do the metta meditation, and I continued to do the analyzing meditation, and continued to just go back and forth between those two, until finally, I could come to be at peace again. But it took, from this one thing the person said, it took most of the day being in this anguished state to arrive at a calm place where I could say, okay, I can understand what happened. I can understand how I acted. I don't need to act like that again. And now I can just give myself some empathy for having lived through that, and understand that when the Buddha said, not getting what we want is a cause of suffering, there it was. There it was. I could have done so much with my time, my energy during that most of the daytime. And instead, my mind was consumed with trying to unravel this, which was a learning experience. I was, at the end of that, quite grateful, because thanks to the Buddha, I knew what to do. Thanks to my teacher, I understood my mind better. And thanks to the other person who prompted this whole situation, I had an opportunity to really examine my mind and see how it was working. So it took all that to get some sense of clarity. But for that, I am very, very grateful. So thank you for listening.